Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session of the IEEE Region 8 Virtual Career Fair. We are delighted to have you with us for today's session, aligning academic skills with industry expectations. It is my pleasure to welcome our speaker, Visar Ademi, who is Executive Director at My Career. Thank you, Visar, for joining us today and for taking the time to share your expertise and insights with our participants. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that if you have any questions during the session, please feel free to write them in the chat. We will collect your questions, and try to answer them and during the Q&A session part at the end. Thank you for joining us. I will now hand over the floor to Visar Ademi. Visar, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello to everyone from sunny Macedonia. If you don't know, Macedonia is close to Greece and Italy. It's been sunny here for a couple of weeks. I've been working a lot with labor markets. Mostly I have had experience in Western Balkans, but also with North Africa, especially Tunisia, Tanzania as well, but Morocco. My idea or the idea of my experience involved a lot of work with what I called myself an intermediary. I mean, I've been working with projects like and an academic world. Why? Because first of all, they are in total mismatch. I mean, there is a lot of debate going on why the supply side, which is academic part, and the demand side, meaning the industry are not cooperating enough in order to produce the employable workforce. First of all, because there is a mismatch of what is the role of academic institutions and what is the expectation on the side of the industry. I mean, they are, if you want to be ironic, you would say that they're living in the totally different mindset, or let's say horizon or universe. Why is that so? I will give you a couple of my thoughts and ideas from working abroad for many years. And then, first of all, is that there is high unemployment rates in almost all the countries that I have been working. But even though that's right, there is still unmet demand for specific skills in some of the industries that have very high absorption capacities, and they demand a lot of quantity of employees, especially in agriculture. That is also true for the food industry. That is very true for the textile industry, and not to mention automotive industry. I mean, the industry requires a lot of the numbers or the quantity or the size of the workforce, which universities don't have a mandate, or they don't have focus to provide. And then the industry is criticizing them because they have to import from overseas, which has to do a lot of then working visa and a lot of training in order to employ them because of the, let's say, capital project in specific countries. But also, they with these industries that you need a high demand of workforce. Is also that they are the people or the students don't want to provide to do the careers there because there is no much fun in doing career in agriculture or in automotive industry, working in the machineries or the factories, because everyone wants to be a manager nowadays. So these industries are not really attractive for the students. So the first mismatch is there, that the industry is saying, okay, whenever we need employees, the industries are not providing the numbers that we want. But even though this is the first, let's say, quarrel or argument, there are also industries that they can provide the numbers, but they cannot provide the quality. And then we call this a mismatch in the knowledge industry. I mean, in the knowledge-based industries, I mean, especially IT or marketing or research, that the industry are not saying that, are saying that The numbers are there, but the skills are not there. And then when it comes to skills, the biggest, let's say, objection that the companies have is that the education not providing the right set of curricula, or that's the right scale of competencies in order for the companies not having a need to do the retraining and thus provide additional cost for them. One other thing that the industry is criticizing is that the companies, in order to retrain them, they need to pay additional cost for bringing the trainers from outside in the company. And they're saying why we should do that, because we pay our taxes to government, and then the government needs to provide oversee to universities to provide the best curricula possible according to the industry need. Second thing is that even though that if there are companies to provide or to provide, or they're willing and agreeing to provide to comply to that cost, as saying that one person to be trained need to be removed from the workplace and then sent to the training room and blah blah blah. So we need to hire another one there to replace this person, and then we have opportunity cost in terms of the time and in terms of the productivity in labor. So they're saying it's not only the direct cost problem, but also the opportunity cost. So why we don't do an element of universities that the problem will be resolved from the core of the problem, not after they graduate from university. And of course, is the quality of workforce. I mean, most of the industries are saying that people that are part of the education systems are taught about universal skills, but not really narrowed down to the sector-specific skills, such as you have IT faculties, but they really don't have not seen on hands-on things, or they don't have the quality of seeing things before really employing it. Their main argument is that 21st century competitiveness is increasingly knowledge-based, especially what they call the 4.0 economy of knowledge. And then the competitiveness of the company comes or derives from the human capital, and not necessarily from the machines or from the capital or from the product. If you have the right people employed in one company, they are the source of competitiveness, because they can bring you the best product, or they can bring you the capital needed, or the machinery, because those are considered to be obsolete, or they consider to be really not huge problem as it was 20 or 30 days ago. If you don't if 20, 30 years ago, you didn't have really machines, because you had a nationwide economies. Now with the globalization, the machines you can buy from everywhere. China is producing 60% of the machines now, and really they are hands-on if you want to purchase a machine for your problems. Later on, it was okay, machines you have, but you don't have a capital. Now with the commercial banks and then alternative ways of financing, you can find from business angels all to a lot of other ways of raising the capital in order to finance your dream and to finance your objectives and vision of the company. So, I mean, the only thing that really is, let's say, worth fighting for are the human capital or human resources. And then, I mean, the skills and competencies of these people are the source of competitive advantage. Why? Because now you're not competing in one country. The products and the services are really global driven. I mean, your competitor is not from your local market, a company that produces the same products like you, but you also have regional market from all these European, I mean, from all these economic unions that the world is really bringing on now. And then you have also those companies, but also you have global companies that are really now very much scattered around the world. in order for them to sell everywhere. So, I mean, you cannot find a local company in the local market, but you can be that sourcing from the local market, but you never know who is going to be your competitor next day. I mean, there are, I mean, 30 or 20 or 30 years ago, you cannot imagine that you can buy sneakers from Nike or from Adidas. Now in all local shops, there are more global brands than you have local brands. Why? Because these products are really globally intensive now, and then um, they are everywhere because they can source from one country and then sell in another country. For example, I will give you the example of Italian company Benetton is sourced in 17 countries. I mean, getting the fiber from China, Bangladesh, you do dyeing and all the sort of steps to produce a t-shirt, and then Italy has nothing. And then when they asked what Italy has, they said only we have the idea or creativity of what will be wear next summer. We were just gonna say we're just gonna give the idea of what colors and what are the designs that the people will wear in the next summer to 2026. All the rest will be done in different countries because of the competitive advantage that they have in one processes. So, but I mean, these all these activities are very much human capital driven, and then the people that have the best human capital, they will have the competitive advantage. This has been done with the introduction of, let's say, companies like Google, social media and stuff like that, that they are really focusing their ideas from the garage of their parents, and there are knowledge intensive companies where the idea or creativity comes from the people, not from the capital. Capital is not problem if you have the right idea and you have the right product. But let's see what are the main issues according to me on the supply side, on the side of universities. I have a bad news for the universities that there will be the death. They consider to be dead of traditional universities that provide diplomas but not skills. They provide degrees but not competencies. I mean, this is not enough. They have to provide also the skills and competencies because the companies are now fighting for best and most talented people. The second thing that the companies are saying that the knowledge is mostly outdated, and I mean the academic institutions have a point here. They're saying that we cannot chase all the time the industries because the environment, the pace of changes there of that business environment is very, very fast, and we are not there to satisfy the industry, but we are trying to create a student that has critical thinking, communication skills, but also some specific industry skills. But mainly, we want to provide universal skills that needs to be, you know, all one size fits all activities. But the industry are saying that they need to be more responsive to their needs, and especially now with the rapid changes of the environment where what has been popular today will not be popular tomorrow. And then the knowledge is outdated, so they need to really go and fix the problems that universities are creating. But again, the academic institutions are saying that we are not there to satisfy the industry, but we are there to satisfy the student. Third thing that according to industry, the academic institutions have failed is that the skills that they are providing are not adequate with the labor market needs. I mean, you have now students that are part of the economic faculty, for example, but they have never seen a pay stub or paycheck. I mean, academia is a lot of theories and knowledge, but really a little bit of practical hands-on knowledge. I mean, this is what the industry is saying that they need to be also part of the laboratory or the curricula or the auditorium, also these practical skills, so the students have been accommodating themselves with these things before they enter the labor market. The faculty program and the curricula design doesn't take a suggestion or input from the industry because there are no industry education boards, and this is the lack of academia because they are at the core of the problems, and the industry don't have time to fix the problem of the academia. It's up to academia to create, let's say, an equation to create a product that they will invite the industry leaders, and then they will suggest or provide inputs about specific, let's say, faculty or specific industry, what needs to be part of that curricula. I would go and say one more thing that inside the suggestions, I would say that the part of the classes or part of the courses need to be co-delivered between a university professor and the industry leader. I mean, especially those that have a high application in the industry. I mean, such as those that I mentioned before, from are coming from the creative industry and IT and stuff like that. You cannot teach students a lot of research or theory without having an application in the industry. Um, Universities, industry are saying that universities are assessing the product and not the behavior. And actually, they are right here because through the marks that they provide to you, they provide you the knowledge for that specific, let's say, course, but not the behavior that you provide throughout the course. I mean, behavior sometimes is more important than the product in test or in exam that you have shown in specific by reading specific chapters. Behavior has to do a lot with the communication, critical mind, and EQ, emotional intelligence that the students are showing, which are very, very practical and are really important in the nowadays environment. Moreover, the students run to the degree without any exposure to workplace environment, and this is not to be blamed. The students are not to be blamed. Why? Because universities don't have career centers. Most of universities don't have career counseling, let's say, units inside universities, and not to mention career advisors inside the faculties. I mean, these career advisors are very important because they bring university leaders in the campus, and then through internship, externship, and other forms of practical work, students are exposed to the workplace environment. It's not good that you provide diploma, piece of paper, but no knowledge. And so that printing the diploma is, it shouldn't be the job or the mission of university, but should be a degree or the knowledge provider. This one, the other one is university becoming intensively cash cow business, especially for Anglo-Saxon culture. I mean, if you are trying to enroll or you want to study in the US or in UK, the fees there per year are really high. So, I mean, they have been imposed a lot of I mean, like they are there for cash, but really not to prepare the students. And then they are going with other additional measures there to attract the students to enroll in their universities. And they are special, and they are mentioning their, I don't know, financial time rankings or other forms of ranking universities. But I mean, the value added needs to come from the industry and not from the other forms of comparative advantage that they are announcing. Especially the role of the universities being a social career, not really to make money, even though some of the private universities. But in my mind, TVs and universities, or they have also the social component of building up the society in one country. I mean, you cannot go after cash and you create a pile of cash there from students and not having this social component there that has to do with, with producing a next generation of workforce for your country. Um, Companies and universities are using the different metrics of evaluation. Academia is using the assessment marks in terms of the grades, whereas the company are using the productivity. I mean, productivity are not mentioned in the auditoriums because academia is trying to assess how much the student knows in specific course by knowing the main concept, whereas companies are not interested about knowing the main concept is how productive you are within the concept. And then the last, according to me now, the last complaint that the companies have is that the faculty are a lot of researchers that have studied what other researchers have to say about one topic and not what the real work experience has to say about it. And most of the faculty members don't have a real work experience. They have been working all their life in academia or in the theory-based institutions or the research institutions, and they don't know the real world. So they don't know the real world, meaning they don't know the real problems of the businesses or the companies have. So, this is what the industry are saying about academia, and according to me, are the real problems of the academic institutions. But now let's see what are the main issues of the demand side of the industry. For me, the biggest one, and I've seen this in Tunisia, I've seen this in Morocco, I've seen this in Tanzania, Serbia, everywhere I've been, that the human capital is not considered an investment, it's considered a cost. Whenever the company pays for something, it's like we have done an expense about training, about development, about something that has to do with the human capital. Whereas other countries that are leaders of the industrial revolution, they're saying, no, we have invested in human capital. And that's why they are ahead of other countries in the pack of the countries that have a comparative advantage over the other countries. And they are now the big 17 in terms of economic development. Um, in economy 4.0, economy of knowledge, again, the advantage of companies comes or derives from human capital, and they need to understand that. And that's why you have more companies now that they are selling the CVs, skills, and competencies of the people, and then the companies are really looking for the best capital there. And I've seen your site now in the career fair, and most of the companies are providing vacancies outside of your country of living. Why? Because after mobility of products, capital, and machinery, the last resource of mobility are people. And then the companies are finding the best talent everywhere. They are looking for the most smart people and the most talented people that globally and they are sourcing, they're tracing them, they're finding them, and they're bringing them in the company. Because in the knowledge economy, again, competitive advantage comes from the ideas, comes from the skills, comes from the competencies of the people, and not from any other source of the company. But the problem is that even though they are fighting for people, 90% of the companies still don't have the HR department. HR are run by owners of the company or the directors of the companies, but really don't have money to invest in the HR department and consider this department as a key, as a core for creating of a company culture. I don't understand, even though in like Macedonia and Western Balkan is part of the Europe geographically, I still find here very odd that the companies have HR department. They focused on the marketing, they focused on the production, they focused on many other things, finance. But when it comes to HR department, there is one person usually, let's say, executive director that focuses mainly on the recruitment side, but other things like evaluation, assessment of productivity, monitoring of their work is done by the executive director. Okay. Other thing is that many companies have reduced investment in onboarding, mentoring, and staff development. People, especially when they come out of the labor market or out of the university, they are looking for the role models. They are looking for the mentors in the company. And usually one company should appoint one mentor per 3 employees in order for them to be really integrated inside the company. But this is lacking in the companies. Why? Because they don't have they don't have resources, they don't have money, they don't have people, and usually students are left alone to find their way to improve their productivity or to integrate in the company. That's why you have a lot of turnover in the industries, because there is no company culture where the students are welcomed, are orientated, and then someone is taking care of them. Staff development, I mean, if you do the assessment of the performance, the normal thing is that after you do the assessment of the performance, at the end of the year, you do also the report for each of the employee, and then suggest training development in those areas that the students or the new employees have shown weaknesses. And then, of course, you invest through private, either in-house training or outside, through, finding an outside training providers to resolve these issues that your staff has as weaknesses. But companies are not willing to invest in the staff development. They invest in new product development, package, machinery. When it comes to the staff, I mentioned they consider them as a cost, as an expense, and not as an investment. Most of the companies say we don't have time to engage with universities, but yet they complain and they criticize the universities when they produce obsolete skills throughout the years. I mean, I have seen universities that have created the industry boards, but then companies are not attending those boards because they don't have time, or because they are so busy with the day-to-day activities. But this one is, for me, very concerning. Internship is no culture in many of the countries. I mean, if you want to have students that will be almost close to being employable, you need to open up your company and invite students to participate in the internship or in your companies. But then, I mean, they criticize the universities, but when you ask them to provide internship opportunities, they would say that they don't have resources, or the students require a lot of time for orientation on onboarding. Also, they need desks, they need computers, and they don't have that. And really, it's up to the academia to provide this before they come to universities. I don't think so. I think that the companies are partners in developing the human capital as the academia is doing that, and then companies can provide internship throughout the academic years of the students, so that final product is prepared much better with this hands-on or the practical knowledge that they will gain in the companies. Many organizations recruit for today's needs. I mean, if they need the marketing guy, they hire the marketing guy, but they never look for the next generation of workforce. They never demand someone that they may need in the future. How do you know that? I mean, it's very, very easily. If you are, let's say, a company based in Tunisia, and your partners are from Morocco or from US or from UK or from any other developed countries, you see what they need first, and then through demand needed approach, you try to understand what will be the next wave of skills and competencies that your company need, and then you try to create the talent for the tomorrow's need. But the companies are too much focused on what are the needs today, and then really they are recruiting only from what is needed today. So I mean, but that is also has some cost issues because then they cannot find and then they need to bring people from outside, and has a lot of repercussions for the companies. Instead of creating a training department and then teach some of the skills that may be needed tomorrow. Some companies have are too narrow focus on technical skills and not very much focused, or they're not appreciating the broader knowledge, such as communication skills, or let's say your negotiation skills, or can you do the job today, can you do these technical stuff, but they're not appreciating that the students have universal or broader knowledge, like I mentioned before, critical skills or communication skills, which are very, very important, especially in the time of AI. When you talk about AI, I have to say a couple of things, that the world is changing a lot. I mean, some of the economists are saying that this introduction of AI have created 4 times bigger impact than the industrial revolution in the 19th century, which is huge. I mean, immense. And then the world will be changed in the way how we have perceived so far. I will give you example of my sister. My sister has an IT company here in Macedonia, and last year she moved in Switzerland because all her clients before were from Switzerland, and then she wanted to be close to her clients there because she was doing outsourcing a lot. And then one guy from Switzerland said to her, I need to quit. I need to dismiss this contract. And she was very worried. She said, why? Did we do something wrong? She said, Flora, we need to be very open with you. 2 years ago, we have introduced this AI tool. And then back then, the AI tool replaced 4 of your employees. Now, today, as we speak, our AI tool that we have introduced in our company replaces 20 people of your company. So really, we have a lot of entry-level jobs or activities we have replaced with AI, and then we don't need your company anymore. Be prepared that AI will be entering in the companies, and then most of the companies will be automated. There will be a lot of displacement of the job or need to shift our skills not according to the jobs that we have considered traditional as before. Automatization, bots will be replacing humans, and then most of these jobs that have been really with no brain needed will be replaced by bots, by robots, and by other means of automatization of these services. According to OECD, 27% of the jobs will be in high exposure to easily automated skills. So these people needs to shift to other careers because they are in risk to be their jobs to be taken by robots or by automated services. I mean, this is very, very important for you that you are choosing your careers. Try to focus on the soft skills more, on the communication, the critical skills, on the negotiation skills, because empathy as well, because this will be the future of the labor market. I mean, it's not important what you can design with your IT skills, but how to sell, how to communicate, how to negotiate will be much more important. You will be much more productive and much more flexible if you know, beside the technical skills, you know also the soft skills. And then a lot of reskilling initiatives. LinkedIn, for example, projects that by 2030, 70% of the skills needed for today's jobs will have been shifted to other industries or to other things. So you need really to adapt yourself to that. I'm almost done. Here is, let's say, a curve of how let's say economy has changed. We started with the internet, social media, mobile, to a cloud, and then Internet of Things, and all these
Sorry
things
to
that,
interrupt.
yeah.
Uh, I apologize for the interruption, but I have to say that there are 10 minutes left.
I'm done.
So,
Yes, I'm done.
okay.
I'm just gonna say at the end how to create this effective delivery system between students, employees, and education institutions. And I would say to students, you need to do before you go to the company or before you find a job, please find on the job experiences, internship, externships, all sorts of practical summer jobs that you do because you will understand not only the company but the industry you are entering. Have focus a lot on the non-formal education. Please go for summer, do trainings, try to find an additional sources of training to increase your knowledge beside your academia. I mean, try to talk to the career counselors about education choices and try to talk to virtual career centers if you don't have one in the university about what will be the next job, that will have career, let's say, career progress. Employers need to focus to find a lot of labor market knowledge. They need to improve their talent acquisition because, again, talent is giving them competitive advantage, not the machines. And then education needs to create a feedback. What is the feedback? If you go to the internship in the company, they need to work or to talk to the mentor of the company in order to improve the curricula based on the feedback of performance or evaluation and assessment of the student in the workplace. Through that assessment, the academia will understand what's wrong. If one student has a poor mark in marketing, let's say, in the technical skills, that's indicative information that they need to change the curricula of that course. And they shouldn't be waiting for them to fall down on the enrollment numbers. Career counseling, every university should have. Every faculty should have a career advisor. But every university should have a career center. And then they should work with the industry to have job placements, like career fairs, like key career fairs that you do. I mean, with that, I'm closing my remarks here. And of course, I can take questions if you have one.
Thank you for the great presentation and for sharing your expertise with us. Let's move on quickly to the Q&A part. The first question is from Anthony. If you are saying schools aren't preparing us enough, then how do we get these skills? We still need to go to courses that take a lot of time. Then we add clubs and staff. What's the point of going to school then?
Exactly. There's no point of going to school. In some industries, you need focused. There are two waves that I will give to you. First is the wave of non-formal education, that the companies are introducing non-formal education because academia is not giving you up-to-date knowledge and information. So you try to buy now skills and competencies from the non-formal training providers. And second, each industry now, and I say each industry from automotive to agriculture to ICT have their own certification program. ICT, they say if you have master on project management for professionals, you don't need IT faculty. If the automotive has TS mark, and all these industries have their own certification program in order for them to be able to be employed in that industry. Universities are providing universal skills, but now with the shift or change of the labor market, more industries are looking for their own certification and their own knowledge. They are not really concerned with your universal knowledge. It's sad, but it's true. I mean, I expect that in about 20 to 30 years, there will be the death of universities as we consider, unless they shift, unless they change.
Thank you. The next question is from Yusuf Khalifa. As AI and technology evolve so quickly, how can universities better prepare students for real industry work without losing the importance of strong fundamentals and problem-solving skills?
Yusuf, I am very, very scared about AI. I mean, I'm not I'm not to lie to you. I'm not from those people that are saying, oh, be very enthusiastic because with AI we'll be much more productive and much more will be better, let's say, effective in our work. I am very much concerned because I mean I see now the discussion in European Union. Most of the countries are saying that they will integrate 10,000 robots in one country, and then rapidly or gradually will introduce a bigger numbers of robots as the time progresses. What universities can do, I mean, really, they should focus not so much on the technical skills, because now you don't have a comparative advantage by knowing how to design a website, but you have comparative advantage of how to sell that website, what the website does for you, for those that buy from you the website. Focus on the critical skills, focus on the communication skills, focus on the all these soft skills that we left behind because in the globalization there was very important on how to do the job. Now we need to go back and then focus more on those skills that we have left behind because of the evolve of the technology. Technology is everywhere. Now, companies are not looking for the software engineers, but they're looking for the engineers that can be embedded in other products. IT is not enough by itself because IT will be everywhere, in smart cities, in smart bulbs, in smart lights, in smart lights. So it's not enough to do IT platform, but you need to do the IT platform everywhere. Yes, you can have the slides, of course.
Thank you. Yes, for can we get the slides?
Yes,
The
yes.
recordings are available. The next question is from Hanin. Do you recommend learning everything about one computer science topic, or know few things about every computer science topic, especially in the vast and competitive world of computer science?
I don't see this. Where is this?
It is in question answers box, not
Can
in
you
the chat.
not in the chat. Can you repeat again the question, please?
Yes, of course. Do you recommend learning everything about one computer society topic, or know few things about every computer science topic, especially in the vast and competitive world of computer science?
No, computer science will be obsolete now and will be not needed anymore because there are platforms that I have seen and I've seen one platform and it blowed my mind. For example, you have a platform there, and then the first question is asking you, what are you? I mean, what kind of platform do you want to do for professional, private? You say professional, and then the platform asks you for what sector is that, dental, professional, and then you give the dental, and then the platform gives you automatization of all layouts. And then at the end, which was very surprising for me, is that provide a photo of you and you can provide while sleeping, and then he generates the pictures while you are with suit and tie and stuff like that, professional. So the IT like we considered before will become obsolete. You don't need to know the technical skills, but what the platform is doing for the one that is buying from you or getting from you are important. Communication, negotiation. Again, I mean, try to find those soft skills that will make you much more comparative than those technical skills that you lock up yourself in the room and then you're working 15 hours for developing a site. That will not be anymore possible because you will find platforms that will develop free of charge websites. I mean, don't invest a lot of time in the obsolete skills. Invest time in those skills that really has to do with EQ, emotional intelligence. Invest in things that have to do a lot with the market development, with the research, with stuff that are not tied to the technical skills. we says we get hardship in finding the internship, yet is the only way we can acquire skills. How best we can do that? We can do that. I mean, the best thing is that you go to the career center. But if you don't have career center, what I ask from you is to do a list of 20 companies in your region. I mean, I may do the 20 companies and then write to them directly. You don't know how glad the companies will be if you take initiative. There is no company that will reject you if you take the initiative and say, I would like to work for you. I have seen you, I have monitored you, and frankly, this is the company I would like to work, but let's start with the internship. And then offer yourself, offer your skills and competencies to them because these company are always appreciating the initiative. We are done, huh?
Okay. Let's move on to the final question. What should a fresh graduates prioritize after graduation to align themselves better with industry expectations?
What I would say is that I mean I don't know in which area of career is the person that is asking question, but for me it would be that you can do a lot of difference throughout the education. First year internship, second year externship, third year summer project, and stuff like that. You try to create a bond with your future employees. Try to remember their names and try to write to them once you graduate.
Okay.
There's one question, which good certification can we aim for as someone studying in MSc in artificial intelligence or IT? Project management for professionals is one that is highly demanded in Macedonia and Europe that has technical and then the soft part of it. But AI is something that is just recently been so cool, and people will think of the certification program for AI as well.
Uh, just sorry, we have the time is over. Thank you, Visar, for this great session. Thank you as well to all the participants. And sorry that we have reached the end of our scheduled time, so we will not be able to answer all the questions written in the chat. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you very much. I hope that you learned something new from my presentation.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Ciao.